Okay guys, I'm here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Just happened to come down here. I saw a video about this store on YouTube and I will put the link in there for that. But I just wanted to say that I was here in Rock Hill, South Carolina at Collecting Problems. Now, after going to Collecting Problems and going through there, I had to buy a bunch of stuff. So we got some of the stuff I bought. This is, me and my wife just happened to be in Rock Hill, heard about Collecting Problems on YouTube and just wanted to go down there and look. It was in a kind of a storage area, so it's kind of like a place you wouldn't really think of, more of an industrial kind of business area, just across the street from Discount Tire, if you're down that way. And anyway, we found the place very easily, and it was amazing because what they had was you had toys, you had games, you had books, you had movies on multiple formats, you had albums and comics. So, I mean, they had everything. So it definitely was Collecting Problems. Now, I'm going to go through, I just stacked these in this order. It's nothing in particular, and I'll go through some of the stuff that I picked up. First off, we have Tarzan the Magnificent, which is Tarzan number 21. If you've never read any Edgar Rice Burroughs, I highly suggest it. I enjoy it immensely. I'm currently reading the John Carter of Mars books and enjoying them. They were out when I was a kid. I mean, they come out in 1919, I think. And Tarzan has been out for a long time, and there's 50-some books in Tarzan. But in the 80s, they did these black cover versions that are hard to find now. And so they happen to have one. And even though I've digitally got this book, I picked it up. I told my wife, I said, I can't leave it there. It was only $5, and I was happy to get it. I know it's in a little rough shape. But anytime you have a book, just to let you know, anytime you have a book or a comic book that's got an all black cover or an all white cover, they're going to look dirty. They're going to look rough. They're going to get roughed up really easy. But I was happy to pick up Tarzan the Magnificent and am looking forward to reading it. The cover on this one is by Boris Vallejo, which a lot of people know of. Also, they switched out between him and Neil Adams. So this is one of the Boris covers, and just really cool looking Tarzan over a lion, kind of just dominating it. Tarzan the Magnificent. So happy to get that. Now, like I say, they had a bunch of DVDs. They had DVDs, VHS, Laserdisc. They had it all. So these were the DVDs, and the DVDs were $1. Yeah, you heard me, $1 American dollar. So that's why there was some that were different, some that were 3, 4, stuff like that, but nothing crazy in the DVD realm. So I had this at one time, but it's The Adventures of Robin Hood with Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland. If you haven't ever seen it, it is by far probably one of the best adventure movies ever. It is the ultimate matinee movie. You can watch this thing any day of the week and you will enjoy it. Got a great, the Sheriff of Nottingham's Basil Rathbone. It's just a great movie. One of the early color films. It's in Technicolor. And there was a guy that was a stunt guy that would he was a Olympic archer, and he would shoot the people, and you got more pay if you got shot with an arrow because they put wood in front of their costumes, and then the guy was like this crazy marksman, and he just shot him with the arrow. There was no digital effects, none of that. He just shot him with the arrow. So one of the best movies that you'll ever find. Just a great movie overall. X versus Sever, Ballistic X versus Sever was a big movie. Yes, it's in a snapper case. That's one thing. If you don't know, snapper cases were the first DVD cases ever, so this is probably one of the earliest DVDs that was out there. But I haven't seen it, and I was always wanting to see it, and I never had. And for $1, I haven't even seen it streaming anywhere, so I don't know if it actually is, but for $1, I got the DVD and I don't have to mess with it. Dreamcatcher is a Stephen King book I started to read, and it's kind of about alien invasion. And it's about these friends that have been abducted by an alien at some point, and then they have psychic kind of a psychic thing. It's got some really weird things that happen in it, but it's got a great all-star cast. You got Morgan Freeman, Thomas James, Jason Lee, Damian Lewis, Timothy Olyphant, Tom Sizemore, and Donnie Wahlberg, all in a movie directed by Lawrence Kasdan. If you don't know who Lawrence Kasdan is, he's directed Silverado. He also wrote Empire Strikes Back. He wrote the Han Solo movie. He wrote most of Return of the Jedi. I mean, he is Star Wars and just a great creative guy. Silverado, by far one of the best Westerns ever, but this is a weird kind of entry. I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing. I was looking forward to seeing it. Got some weird stuff in it. Aragon, I heard a lot about. Never did pick it up. I love Jeremy Irons, but that's about all I can say about that. It's about a dragon. I think Aragon is the kid, not the dragon. I'm not sure. But anyway, one of the earlier DVDs. Quick and the Dead. You could not buy this cast today. Well, first of all, Gene Hackman's dead, but at the time when this movie came out, there was no way in the world that people knew who Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be or who Russell Crowe was going to be. But you had Sharon Stone and Gene Hackman were the stars, directed in a Western by Sam Raimi. And yes, horror Sam Raimi, Evil Dead Sam Raimi, Spider-Man Sam Raimi. So it is a great movie. Probably one of the best roles that Russell Crowe has because he doesn't talk in it most of the time. So he gets to just act and be there. Just a great kind of a take on spaghetti westerns, and with Sharon Stone and Leonardo DiCaprio, it's just a lot of fun. And of course, Gene Hackman, always the great baddie that he always is. The Sons of Katie Elder with John Wayne, sometime in the early, I guess mid 2000s there, like 2010 or so, around there. These movies started coming back out as widescreen by Paramount, and this is just one of the ones I remember as a kid that I just saw repeatedly, but I still love it. John Wayne, Dean Martin, it was just a lot of fun, and I do remember enjoying it. And they were constantly talking about their mother, so it's really how their mother influenced them. But you never see Katie Elder, but you just know that her boys are going to take care of business, and so that's pretty cool. This, I saw it and I was like, man, I'm really tempted to get that. This is one of the ones that was like $3 instead of like $1. But Sonny Shiba in Street Fighter and Return of the Street Fighter, 2 films on 1 double-length disc, which just means the quality's not as good. But this particular company, Diamond, did a lot of early DVDs, and I wish I had all the ones I'd bought back in the day. They did a good job doing them. They didn't care if they owned the copyright or not. They changed the name of the movie and still put it out. And so they were kind of cool. I know I had a copy of the Beyond that they had done. But here's just some of the pictures that they had done. There's Diamond stuff. It's still in the Blu-ray at home. But House on Haunted Hill and all this stuff, just great movies that they did at the time. Diamond, one of the best early DVD distributors. So couldn't pass that up for $3. I actually lost it in the store and was like, oh my God, where did I put it? And I had to go back and find it because I was like dying to see Sonny Shiba in that. And if you don't know who Sonny Shiba is, you would know him from, he's the sword master in Kill Bill that like gives Uma Thurman her sword. So that's who Sonny Shiba is. Going to the comics now. They had a lot of $2 boxes. They had some $1 boxes. A lot of the comics that I saw in the regular back issue boxes were only like $3. They weren't anything crazy. So I'm a Doc Savage fan, and I'd never read this issue of Marvel 2-in-1, which was the Thing's team up book. And so you got the Thing and Doc Savage, which is like the copyrights on that are probably no longer in existence because Doc Savage is owned by Street and Smith Publications, and Marvel is now owned by Disney. So you have that, but it was in the $1 box. I couldn't pass it by, so I had to pick that up. The majority of the rest of the books that I picked up there's not the majority, are John Carter, Warlord of Mars. And like I told you, I've been reading the the books by Edgar Rice Burroughs, started reading those. Apparently, these issues of the comic take place between books. And so a lot of people were mad at the time. I was a little kid. I enjoyed them. I remember copying this artwork so much as a kid, tracing it, drawing it again. There's one, I have vivid memories of redrawing some of these covers. But Gil Kane is the excellent artist that did the inside. A lot of people don't like Gil Kane. I love Gil Kane. He just had this great action feel to everything. He was known for drawing the Green Lantern in the 60s. And, but anyway, they took on John Carter of Mars. Some of them are written by Marv Wolfman, some by Chris Claremont, just all around the board. I only had issue 1 that I still had from being a kid, and I picked up, it only ran like 28 or 30 issues. I think it ran 28 issues. And I picked up most of them. But like I say, a lot of these I had as a kid, or my cousins had as a kid, and I would go to their house and read them and just loved them so much. Some of them I had, some of them they had, you know. I never did pick them up. See, there's that great, let me shake the camera, but there's that great Gil Kane signature that he used throughout the 80s. And just love Gil Kane. That's a total Gil Kane cover. And I always liked him immensely. But this cover in particular, I remember me and my cousin Jeff sitting on the floor in his house and trying to redraw this onto a sheet of poster board like you would do for like a school project or something. And us just trying to redraw this epic action scene from Gil Kane. And just one of my favorite pieces of artwork. And trying to copy that and trace that is just amazing. Look, pieces are falling off as I flip them open. Some of these are not in the best condition, but I just wanted reader copies. I wasn't looking necessarily for mint condition or a 9.0. I wasn't looking for any of that, but and didn't find it. See, look at some of the dirt on the back of that. That just tells you it's well loved, and just some of the books I wanted to pick up. I was kind of amazed because some of these books I haven't seen since I was a kid, and to see all of them in one place. I mean, you're looking at 35 cents now. A comic's $4. It's just amazing. And if you haven't, I know the new Superman movie's out, and if you've been in a convenience store, I was in the Sheetz in Granite Falls last week, and they had a DC rack that's like a temporary cardboard rack, but they're selling a lot of DC reprints at $3.99 a piece. But still, I wish they would have kind of printed them on newsprint so they could sell them cheaper to kids. But they do have comics back in the convenience stores now. It's mainly DC. It's just DC. But I hope Marvel takes some points from that, especially being as they're owned by Disney now. I think Disney's got more money than God, so let them do that. Like I say, here's a white cover, and you can see all that dirt, every bit of that dirt. But you got that wonderful Gil Kane signature. A lot of times when I was a kid, some of the fun things about studying the art was going back and seeing who had drawn what and how they had done it, or trying to trace it and see how they had done it. Like here's pencils by Carmen Infantino. Carmen Infantino was known for drawing The Flash in the 60s. He drew Star Wars, the Star Wars comic, I think taken over about like issue 14 or so. And so a lot of the Star Wars comics, if you know them from the first movie, from the first original Star Wars, you probably have seen Infantino's style for a long time. And a lot of people fuss about his Star Wars comics, but I learned to draw a lot from Infantino and from tracing those books, so I always enjoyed them. But yeah, John Carter of Mars, so many great adventures, so many great things. Now the movie was done by Disney and is not in character to the character. The character is actually closer to Superman in some ways. He comes from another planet. He's near invincible. He leaps tall buildings in a single bound. He does all that stuff, and not only that, he's immortal. He thinks that he does not remember being younger than 30. He's always been 30 years old in his mind. And so totally different from what Disney did with the John Carter movie. And first they called it John Carter, which is like as boring as toast, and didn't call it Warlord of Mars or Warlord of Basum, because on Mars The planet is called Basum. And you have your 4-armed Martians, 6-legged lions, which is a bantha. And a lot of Star Wars, the original Star Wars, is from the first book, Princess of Mars. And it's very similar to that. It's got like a princess on a ship on a mission, and what somebody takes over the ship, bad guys take over the ship, and then, oh my God, they got to get her back. Somebody's got to rescue the princess. Wow, does that not sound like Star Wars? And like I say, some of these are really dirty. So they've had some wear. I got to look at about washing these. And I saw this cover. I've seen this cover before. I didn't as a kid. I don't remember it as a kid. But when you see it, you look at it and you think, oh my God, that's a great artwork by Jim Starlin. Looks like Jim Starlin. No, man, it's George Perez. George Perez and Terry Austin. And if you follow comics at all, George Perez drew, man, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers. He was known for drawing tons of characters. He is, yet again, another legend that's passed on. Terry Austin's still kicking though, and Terry Austin was the inker. So George Perez drew the pencils. Terry Austin did the inks over top of it. Terry Austin had a very distinct style. Terry Austin was known for doing the classic Uncanny X-Men. If you know the original Dark Phoenix saga with John Byrne, it was John Byrne and Terry Austin that did those books, and just had that great camaraderie and just really good. And this was about that same time, because this is when they were all coming up. Like, some of these books are written by Chris Claremont, who wrote those original X-Men books. So here we're coming up on issue 28. That was the final issue of the book. I didn't get all of them, but I've got some holes to fill, but still, I got most of the series. And they used to do a thing back in the day called an annual. And in the summer, they would do a double-size issue, and this is their king-size annual with John Carter, and they would do different. He actually had 3 annuals come out, which is kind of rare. In the 70s, they did a lot of annuals. And this was actually out the summer that the original Star Wars come out. So, written by Marv Wolfman, who is still kicking, thankfully, and has done a lot of DC. He's known for the Teen Titans and Tomb of Dracula. But this one in particular, by Ernie Chan, this one gave me nightmares as a kid, and this is actually based on one of the original Edgar Rice Burroughs stories. But there were these bodies, these heads that could move to different bodies. Like, the bodies were headless, and then they had these little alien antenna heads that would crawl over to the next body, and they would crawl and then attach to the other body, and it was like pure nightmare fuel as a kid. I just remember thinking that was just so horrible. And there's a big twist at the end that I won't reveal, even though it's like 50 years old already. But just a big twist about the headless bodies, just kind of crazy. And this is the final one. This is Annual 3. By this time they were 60 cents, which is, God, what year is this? If you ever want to know the year, you just pop open the book and look. This is 1979. But script by Chris Claremont, art by Alan Weiss and Todd DeZanzio. There was a lot of people from Philippines that came and did artwork for DC and Marvel. And Todd DeZanzio was one of those just great artists from the Philippines that came to America and did the books. But that's pretty much it. That's my haul. I ended up spending total, I think it was close to $78, which is kind of bad for me. I usually don't spend that much, but they did have all those John Carters. They had all this, and also the Edgar Rice Burroughs Tarzan. And I will say, I mean, I know that Edgar Rice Burroughs is an old writer, and you're looking at stuff from way back in the day, and a lot of people read them growing up. I did not, and so I'm kind of happy that I have found him. If you want to read some cool stories, wild stories that go like crazy in books and everything, you can't beat Edgar Rice Burroughs. I mean, he did some crazy, crazy stories. A very creative man, and I just really enjoy his books. A lot of people talk about Robert E. Howard that wrote Conan, and about how much they love his stories. And I do love Robert E. Howard, but I really think Edgar Rice Burroughs is a little better than him. I just really, really love him. There's so much that he did. He He did Tarzan. He did John Carter of Mars. He did a series called Pellucidor, which was things at the center of the Earth. So the Earth is hollow, and Pellucidor is the land inside the Earth. And did a few Pellucidor novels. My favorite was a '70s movie called The Earth's Core, At the Earth's Core, and loved that movie as well. But he just had a great imagination. And if you want to have some fun this summer and read something that's going to kind of stick with you, and you're going to have a good time reading it, it would definitely be an Edgar Rice Burroughs book. So that's pretty much the haul from Collecting Problems. Really appreciate those guys. They were very nice to let me film in there and show a little bit about what was going on in the store. Like I say, it's kind of a wandering little store. It's in Rock Hill, South Carolina. You go in, just a little bit of everything, all there in one place. And I've never seen so many different varied types of media and stuff in one store. I mean, you usually see a little bit of it, but he had one room dedicated to books, he had one room dedicated to comics, he had one room dedicated to movies and albums. It was just, it was a lot, and they're not the biggest rooms in the world, but I mean, he had a lot of stuff going through it. It was just really, really kind of cool. So thanks to the guys at Collecting Problems, and thank you guys for watching this video.